You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Glad you can join me for another podcast of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to any of the social media links in the description box to get in contact with the show for any comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. Okay, so it came out today that Ben Simmons is saying that he will never play another game, not 1 minute, for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, he reported that his sources told him that the 76ers star has no plans to play ever again play ever again for the franchise, and that he will not report to camp. Now, according to ESPN and their sources, you have to say that, cite them. The Philadelphia 76ers All-Star Ben Simmons, again, he stated that he will not report for the opening of training camp next week, and he hadn't spoken to the team since a late August meeting when he communicated that message to the Sixers official. He also went on to add that Simmons is clearly aware of the sanctions available to the organization to fine and suspend him, including withholding of salary. But so far, Ben Simmons appears willing to carry out a plan of forcing his way to a new team. Now, the Sixers have yet to find a trade that they are willing to make for him. The Sixers could also find the three-time All-Star $227,000 per day, which would equal a $1.3 million amount per week, because typically NBA teams train 6 days a week. So it comes out roughly to about $1.3 million a week that the Sixers could find Ben Simmons. Now look, here's my thoughts on this. This thing can go both ways. I'm looking at it from both sides. Now, what Philadelphia has to understand is Ben Simmons has come out publicly, and he's stated he's not playing for them ever again. The writing is on the wall, in the words of Candyman. the writing is on the wall, so when a player does that, you're not going to get, equal value for that guy. So you're kind of screwed if you're Philadelphia. So if I'm the Sixers brass, and you screw me like this, or I can't get equal value for you because you refuse to work on your game, I would just send you to a team where, hey, give me some draft picks. It's gonna be a bottom feeder team. I'm not sending you to Golden State. I'm not sending you to Portland. I'm not sending you to a top team. Look, and some people might say this being petty, but look at Coach Popovich. When a player wants to be traded, look what happened with the kid that wanted out, that went to the Clippers. He won in Toronto. Kawhi Leonard. He told him he was not trading him to LA. Remember when Leonard wanted to go to LA when he was in San Antonio? Pop said, nope, I'm not sending you to a Western Conference team. And I do believe that Pat Riley, if I'm not mistaken, Pat Riley has kind of the same thing in place, where I think Pat Riley just won't send you to a contender. I could be wrong. If you know what it is, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think Pat Riley has some sort of rule in place also. So if I'm Philadelphia, I'm not sending you to a contender. It is what it is. If I can't get full value for you, because of your doing, because you screwed me, I'm sorry. You're going to go play for the Sacramento Kings. But he wants to be in California. He'll figure out a way to get to LA every day from Sacktown. So you got to send him to a team like Memphis. You got to send him somewhere down there. Send him down to Memphis. That's what'll work. And if you're Ben Simmons, look, I think he's being a baby about this. the kid can play. He can play. The problem is you can't do what he did against the Hawks in the playoffs. You gotta take the shot. If you're under the basket, I don't care if you go over 10 from the free throw line. You cannot stop being aggressive. Okay? There's no way. I mean, his numbers, I don't have them in front of me right now, but his numbers were atrocious in the fourth quarter. I don't believe he took a shot in the fourth quarter in that series. Again, I could be wrong, but I think that is a stat. So Ben Simmons, is coming off kind of like a spoiled diva to me. Instead of getting in the gym, working on his free throws, you don't stop being aggressive. I don't care if you can't shoot free throws. You be aggressive. They foul you, then they foul you. I'd rather you go over 10 from the line than to stop being aggressive. And that's all. That's all people were saying, and you can tell the guy got in his feelings. He got all, it bothered him. Let's just say it bothered him. So, Ben Simmons, I mean, if he can afford it, he's better than me. I'm not giving up $1.3 million a week just to force a trade. I'll wait it out, but. If Ben has been great with his money, I don't count another man's pockets, but if he's been great in handling his money and he can handle that, paying $1.3 million a week in fines, more power to him. But for me, no, there's no way I can give back $1.3 million a week. But this thing is ending ugly between Ben and the Sixers. Again, I still think the Sixers hold all the cards because at the end of the day, Ben is away from the team, so he's not a big distraction to what's going on. Now, he does hurt the Sixers as a championship contender team. I still think they're a playoff team, but not a championship contender team without Ben Simmons. To me, they just become the Atlanta Hawks without Ben Simmons. That's what they become. But again, I still think Philly holds all the cards in this because they hold his rights. They can trade him anywhere they see fit. So if you want to go pound at home, Ben, then it is what it is. How do you see this playing out? I mean, we all know at the end of the day, at some point in time, Ben Simmons will be traded. We just don't know to where and for what. But if I'm the Sixers organization, just because you're putting me in a tough position, I am not going to send you to a contending team. I am not going to send you to a city that is very enjoyable for young, rich athletes, such as Miami, New York, LA. You will not be going to those cities. So that's just me. But where do you see this thing ending? Like I said, we all know he's gonna be traded, but to where and for who? So look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and follow the podcast. If you're on the YouTube side of things, comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Go to any of the social media links in the description box to get in contact with the show for any comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis, and remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.